Hey everyone, Felipe here. Welcome to another Tower Saviors GNN news review. The moment I've been waiting for is finally here. And this week we have the announcement for the brand new Black Gold card, and we have some insane power creep going on here. And I'll show you in a bit, but without further ado, let's get started. Matt had just announced the brand new Black Gold card, which is a reskin of Novalis and Ursula, and I've got to say, this is insane. Uh, an insane dragon leader, you know? Looking at the leader skill, you can see that it is a giant paragraph, which means there's a lot of skills and effects going on for it, but it also means that it has an amazing ally potential. So even if you don't manage to pull this card, or you don't have the diamonds for it, you can still use it as an ally for pretty good multipliers. Going on into the details, we have amazing multipliers, we also have combo count increase, and we also have a life steal, which is pretty integral for a dragon playstyle because dragons don't have the best of recoveries. And the most important part of this leader skill, in my opinion, is going to be the multipliers, especially the attack multipliers, because the amount that you get with dual leader and ally, which you should do if you pull for this card, is going to be 18,225. Yeah, 18,225 times team attack bonus, which is insane for just having that as your leader skill. And even then, if you run it as an ally, you have a 135 times multiplier, which is pretty amazing as well. So, the only thing I guess is that it is very tailored to dragon teams, so other teams outside of dragons are not going to be that flexible. But this leader skill is going to be very powerful nowadays, you know, with Azathoth and all of that. But the team skill is also kind of insane. It has the staples like extended runestone movement time, runestone possession, but it also has a lot, and I mean a lot of utility that it's actually kind of stupid. You ignore sticky, you ignore smog, you ignore black holes. You also generate race runes, which helps you reach the conditions for your leader skill. You also have enchanted trail, which helps with weathered. Which help with weekend and macaroons. And it also like helps you deactivate enemies and break puzzle and fix combo shield. You also get times 5 attack multiplier just for taking damage, which is a really nice bonus, but you can also trigger it manually using Nidhogg or any of those HP reduction skills. We also have a black gold card exclusive team skill or effect like Nula, Una, and Atum, Daji, and those, where once you reach a certain condition, you will gain additional effects. And in this case, it's going to be the Demented State, which you actually have 3 different ways you can enter it. The first one is by defeating 3 or more enemies. The second one is if there's a black and white zone in play. Or the third one, which is going to be the easiest one to achieve, is to have Fawn the Horrid Gastronomer in your team. And honestly, you just need to put that guy in your team and you get this thing from round 1 and it's going to be great. And honestly, it is an amazing state to be in because you get a 2.5 attack bonus on top of your amazing leader multipliers. You also have life steal for your dragon attack for this specific card. And this is really good, and the reason it's good is because it's a passive team skill. You don't have to run this as an ally, you don't need to run this as your leader. So even when it falls off the meta, you can still use this card as a member of your dragon teams and still benefit from this attack bonus and this life steal bonus, which is going to be amazing for any dragon teams because, like I said before, recovery is a struggle for dragon teams, you know? So yeah, this is going to be amazing for future proofing this card and for any dragon teams in the future. Next we have the dual leader and ally bonus. So not only do you have a amazing team skill just for running this card, Novalis and Ursula, as the leader, but if you run dual leader and ally, you get even more team skills. And it's very stupid. It increases the effect of water and dark runes, pretty good. Craft Apparatus will not be cleared and will not be disabled. And if the enemy tries to disable your craft, it will kill itself, which is new. It's a one of a kind and it's amazing. It basically renders a lot of those stages useless, or those not useless, but like really easy because you can just clear those by bringing them. Yeah. Also, you get a craft ability with your by running dual and ally, and this craft ability is actually really good as well. You have a CD reduction of -8, which basically means that all your skills will be ready in one go. You also absorb the attack, so you will not die, and you will launch a counter attack of the absorbed attack. Dragon attack basic value will be lowered to 0, and all that absorbed damage will be added to that of the leader at a 2.5. So basically, this is Novalisa's skill, but with the added bonus that you launch 5 extra attributive attacks for your leader. So it is an amazing craft skill. It helps you dodge, it helps you reduce your cooldowns, and it gives you a free Novalis type effect without having to bring vanilla Novalis to your team, which is really good. I guess the only downside is that you can only activate it twice in a one round because you only have 2 Dragonic Compulsions. Twice in one stage. But yeah, you also have stat bonus for Fawn and Novalis and Ursula, but with everything that's going on with it, I feel like that's already a lot. Anyways, but yeah. So moving on to the active skills, it's also 2 giant paragraphs, so this card has so much going on for it, and it's honestly kind of stupid how much it has. It has 2 skills, one at CD6, one at CD7. The CD6 one will immediately put you into the Demented mode, which is another way to enter it. But it basically removes all runestones except for one type of your choosing, and those types become protected runes. Generating protected runes is pretty rare, so having that is really good. But not only that, you also get to launch attacks of the runestones that you chose. So you can basically launch attacks of any attribute that you want by using this active skill, which is pretty good for enemies that have elemental shields. Yeah, you also get a 6 times attack bonus, which adding everything together is insane. But you also, most importantly, break equal and enemy specific damage reducing resistant combo. And you can also launch non-attributive attacks, which is honestly really good for certain enemy shields that actually don't calculate non-attributive attacks, so you can bypass some shields with that. So basically, this effect also gives you a lot of utility. Now for the second active skill, you restore crack positions, you also remove fatigue, you remove hypnotize, and you remove windswept, which there's not that many cards that can remove windswept because it is a new effect that Matt had just added. So the fact that you can clear all these 3 effects is going to make this card really good because it affects all dragons in your team. You also enter a hyperstate for 2 rounds, which always good to have, but also recover your HP to 100% and dodge the damage from any incoming attacks to 0. So that is going to be amazing utility. Also gets rid of a lot of board debuffs. So yeah, it's very stupid in my opinion. And you might be thinking, okay, yeah, there's a couple things that it doesn't counter. So like what happens to initial shield or burning or whatever. The bonding skill gets rid of burning and also initial shield. So if you've been keeping track of all the skills that we've been talking about, we have smog clearing, sticky rune clearing, burning. So the only things that it does not counter is going to be tornadoes, lasers, number shields, cross shields, quintet elemental shield, and that's it. But those things can be easily fixed, and with the new Chronon card system, you can give her basically a quintet elemental shield break with that. So honestly, this leader skill is very powerful because it helps you ignore so many of the games and enemy mechanics that it's going to make your life very easy. I guess the only bad thing about it is that it is very limited to just dragons, but honestly, that's not too bad. But yeah, there's also a gift pack by or whatever. Dragonic Compulsion, surprisingly, it does not have more utility because otherwise that would be absolutely insane. And yeah, so next thing I wanted to talk about is the new Nightmare stage, which is going to be Fawn the Horrid Gastronomer. And if that name sounds familiar, it is because it appears in Nobody's and Ursula's team skill as one of the conditions to reach your demented state, as well as getting your stat boost. And in my opinion, this skill is honestly really, really good uh, because it also helps build more utility for your Novalis and Ursula team. Death damage is ignored, which is great because some of those enemies can kill you in one shot. Explode all runestones and also deal sniper damage and break initial shield. So, you know, really nice things to have and also very good for any future dragon leaders as well because it does give you some utility that is pretty rare in the game, which is the counter to death damage at CD6. Not pretty good. And all the other added utility like sniper, initial shield is also very welcome for other teams as well. Yeah, team skill is the stat boost as always. And we also have a new bi-weekly stage, which is also a Dark Dragon card. So basically this GNN uses a Dark Dragon trifecta, which given the upcoming Black Gold Dragon card, it makes sense because you want to fill your inventory and your teams with Dark Dragons and Water Dragons. But yeah, this card is honestly not that bad either. Tap 2 runestones to turn those into enchanted dragon runes, enchanted dark dragon runes, and the most important thing in my opinion of this skill, which is amazing for a free-to-play card, is the fact that you can launch an extra attack of your counter attribute. And that is going to come into play not now, because Novalis can use their craft skill for 5 attribute attacks, but in the future if you're running like a, I don't know, 3 attribute team, you still have access to the other 3 attributes if you do the counter attributes, you know. So those are going to be pretty good. And skill CD 4 minus skill CD minus 4 at the end of the round if you're running a mono dragon team, which means that this skill is going to be basically how do I put this? It is 100% uptime because CD5, CD4 next round will be ready again, which means that you can benefit from this extra attack for all your team members. And this is basically a ×2 attack multiplier since you're doubling your attack for those rounds. But yeah, all in all, it's a pretty good TNA news and really excited about the new Black Gold card. So yeah, do I think you should pull? Honestly, I'm going to pull for them because it is going to be the most powerful dragon card up to date. But that being said, Azathoth is a Dark Dragon card, and he is already pretty good as well. There's so many stages that Azathoth can clear. So if you already have Azathoth, I don't see too much of a need to pull for this card. The only thing that differentiates this with Azathoth is that this card will basically ignore a lot of those pesky enemy skills passively with this team skill. But Azathoth can also clear those stages if you bring the required utility to your team. And because of the cooldown reduction for dragons, you will be able to clear those stages really easily as well. So, you know, not too bad if you have Azathoth. If you don't have Azathoth and you wish to have a really powerful dragon leader, I would really strongly recommend this card to you. However, if you don't have that many dragon utility members in your inventory, or if you don't have the resources for a mono dragon team, I would recommend saving your diamonds for another more flexible leader, like a collaboration or something, because the only downside for this team that I can picture right now is the fact that it does limit you a lot in terms of your team members. And even though you're heavily encouraged to run mono dragon and you have access to all dragons, you are more incentivized to run water and dark. So you're limiting both the race and the attributes in your team for maximum damage output, which is not as flexible for a Black Gold card. So in that, taking that into the consideration, there are scenarios where I wouldn't recommend you to pull because your diamonds could be better used for other team members, you know? But yeah, that's all I wanted to say about this GNN news review. I'm personally really excited for this Black Gold card. especially because Novalis and Ursula were one of my first main damage dealers when I first started the game. So I'm really excited about them. I will probably make a post-testing review after they get released and let you know my thoughts about them and whether my opinion changes on whether you should pull for them or not. So yeah, for now, that's going to be all. Make sure you check my YouTube channel for more Tower Saviors content. But for now, stay safe, stay healthy, and I will see you next time. Bye everyone!